VOP-Freedom Media's Quick Cash Incentive with Teamwork and New York Homeownership Special. With your host, Hank McGrath. It's a wonderful day, and I'm bringing the best to you right from our New York studios live. Now, tonight we're going to touch on the dynamics of how to make money with real estate. Whether you're a homeowner seeking to sell your property, an investor seeking smart property investments, or someone who needs to make quick cash, some extra cash as a property scout or bird dog, as they say in the business. As we introduce our special co-host, and we're honored to have him on, a very successful local entrepreneur and real estate guru in his own right. I'd like the folks and the listeners to welcome Rex Oliver. How you doing, Rex?
Hey there. How are you? Thank you for inviting me tonight.
Yes. Well, I'm inviting you because we're kind of excited. We have talked in the past about various programs, and we interwebbed with each other and worked on a number of projects. And I think this is very exciting, some of the projects you have going on with the Teamwork program. Now, I'd like to start the program first, the concept of the Property Scout and the importance of Property Scout to investors. Could you explain to folks about the Teamwork program?
Yeah, the Teamwork program I set up about a year and a half ago to help bring more properties into my viewpoint, more leads in. Everybody lives in their own neighborhood and knows of a vacant house, or they know of someone that's, experiencing financial difficulties. And that's the people that we are here to help. I could advertise all day long on in the newspaper. Those people that have already left their homes, they're not reading the local newspaper to see my ads that we can help them out. They're not calling and asking for help. They typically turn to a real estate broker, of which we have an office also. But sometimes the way the economy has been, that by the time you pay your closing costs and real estate brokerage fees and what have you, you need to come to closing with money. And most of our clients can't do that these days. Mm-hmm. So the scouts are helping me find those people and help them. I dealt with a family today that had gotten in touch with me over the weekend. They have their bags packed for Florida to get a new job, and they're leaving next Tuesday. And they really didn't want to just leave their property vacant. Right. So one of my property scouts, put them in touch with me over the weekend, and I met with them today, and we wrapped up everything today, and they're going to be happy moving to Florida now, knowing that their property is taken care of here.
Nice. So now let's jump quickly to the frustrated for sale by owner. I mean, a lot of people want to sell their own home. They don't want to get involved with the additional closing fees and the agent commission fees, and they like to be a little independent. How does Rex Oliver, how could you help someone like that?
Yeah, everyone's situation is a little bit different, but with the economy the way it's been over the last number of years, and the home prices mainly have been stagnant at best and declined in some areas. The typical real estate transaction between real estate brokerage fees and closing costs and what have you would cost the customer anywhere between 10 and 15% of their house's value just to get rid of it. And again, because the prices and mortgages have been the way they have been over the last few years, many people don't have that type of room to be able to sell. And so a lot of people have turned to trying to sell for sale by owner to help, quote, save the real estate commission. It works some, but you don't have the broad audience that the real estate community has. So it works some, but I'll tell you, we have people on the phone calling the for sale by owners all day, and their biggest frustration is the for sale by owners aren't home. They don't answer their phone. They don't call back. And quite honestly, many of them don't even know how to negotiate. I was on the phone with one seller the other day who told me that he's got the property for sale at $240,000 before the words even left his mouth. He said, "But I'd consider something around $200,000." And that's just not a professional negotiator. And I pointed it out to him afterwards, and he didn't even realize it.
Now, I notice a lot of, in my dealings with homeowners, I noticed a lot of people get a set amount locked in their head that, they won't give up this property unless they get $75,000. Now, is that always realistic? I mean, generally, or are they just uneducated?
Well, it could be a number of different factors. Again, most people buy and sell maybe 3 houses in their lifetime, 4 or 5 if they're active. The real estate market with prices are changing, every single month. Right. So not knowing what's going on in the real estate market from week to week and month to month, they really aren't in tune with the market. Right. That's the number one reason. Probably number 2 is that they have a mortgage that they feel, they have to get paid off in order to sell their house. And they take their mortgage amount, add, a certain amount to it to pay closing costs, and then add another amount to it for negotiating room. And with the market, it's just not realistic these days. Many people had gotten those mortgages back in what I like to call the Wild West days, when the banks were giving out mortgages to anyone. And quite honestly, the banks overlooked a lot of things in the appraisals. And if you had good credit and you told the bank your house is worth $200,000, that's what the appraisal came in at. And unfortunately today, based on what's happened all across the country, not just locally here, the appraisals have gotten a lot tighter. They have to use comparable sold houses within a 1-mile radius in the last 6 months. Right. And it's just, there aren't that many houses selling compared to the number on the market. I was looking at some statistics the other day, and for the month, 25 houses sold and 260 new ones come on the market. It's becoming, it has been a buyer's market, and we all hear national statistics. Now, I'm located right here in Niskayuna, but I also do business in Washington, Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Florida. So we get a pretty good overview of the markets, and I love to hear the national news, how much better housing is doing, because it makes people feel good, but it is very pocket specific.
Right. Now, what are the, name, say, 5 reasons a homeowner who wants to sell their own home, what are the reasons that generally you come in contact with, that they would contact you?
Generally, it becomes a time issue. Currently, statistically, on the Capital Region multiple listing service, as well as nationwide, the marketing time for a house these days is somewhere around 9 or 10 months. That means, if you put a house on the market today, you may be able to sell it within the next 9 months. So timing is the first real issue. Second is just having a sale in hand is a big reason. With statistics, and again, I share these with anyone, the Capital Region multiple listing, roughly 35% of houses that are ever listed get sold on that multiple listing. So 3 out of 10 just never even sell. And,
Right.
there's a lot of reasons for it. So most people contact someone like myself for those two main reasons. They've
Right.
run out of time, and they want something that they know they can count on that is, when they're ready to close.
Right. Now, a lot of reasons someone who would sell their home is because, like, a relative died, it was a family home, and they've moved on, or they're leaving the area, got a new job, like you said, the Florida family. There's a number of different reasons, even financially. They want to get away from the mortgage, or they don't want to be a landlord anymore. Any of these people who own their own home and their own property can contact Rex Oliver, and how do they reach you?
They can either go to our website, which is www.NYHomeOwnership, or they can call us, and someone will be available to answer the phones generally at 518-595-9836.
Nice.
And generally you speak to someone on our staff. They ask a lot of questions and get some information, and then at this point, there are 3 of us that are actually going out and visiting with clients, getting the details, and really understanding what would work for them and see if we can make it work for us. Again, I've been doing this 25 years. We always come up with some sort of solution that's worthwhile for them. And sometimes you may have to see an attorney to talk about, different legal options, but those are all based on what the client needs.
Right, right. Now, you had a cash turnkey program as well. Is that correct?
Yeah. It actually started out of the bank side. Some of the banks started offering what's called cash for keys.
Right.
For some clients that are owe more on their properties than they're worth, and with the banks taking forever to look at loan modifications and short sales, based on our experience, we are advancing 50 to 75% of what we believe the bank will end up giving us for a cash for keys program. That means the customer walks away, they get a little bit of money up front, and there's no liability from the bank in the end.
Nice. We're going to take a very short break here, and we'll be right back with Rex Oliver. And, of course, you can contact him at 518-595-9836. And when we come back, we're going to talk about how folks can make some quick cash. We'll be right back. Join the Teamwork Program with Rex Oliver. Make yourself a sweet chunk of cash with free training provided. And just imagine that, free training. All right, a lot of folks don't know about real estate. All you need to know to be a good property scout, and you can learn the rest as you go on. But visit rexoliver.teamworkprogram.com. And if you're an investor or homeowner seeking to sell your house or property, call Rex Oliver at 518-595-9836. And, of course, we're back here with Rex Oliver. Now, Rex, I want to touch on, before we end the show, I also want to touch on investors. But right now, property scouts, they contact you at rexoliver.teamworkprogram.com. What can they expect? Can they expect an opportunity to make some quick cash?
Yeah. We started this about 1.5 years ago, and like I said, I have spent 25 years in the investing side of things, and everybody that I run into has always asked, how do I get started? How do I get started? And without spending tens of thousands of dollars being educated, this is the first place to get started. Once you sign on, you get a training manual, and it tells you how to access the system. It gives you some basic ways to find properties in your local area, right in the neighborhoods that you're driving through every day on your way to and from work and the grocery store. And for every one of those you submit right online to us, we do an analysis of that, and we call the people. That is probably your biggest requirement, is to get a little bit of information from the owners as to what they're looking for, how much they owe on it, and it helps people get started talking with clients.
Right.
Over the last year and a half, we have paid out a little over $80,000 to our bird dogs to find properties. And, as people get used to that and want to learn a little bit more, I have, like I said, taken 3 people locally here to take the next step and learn the analysis of the property and the mortgage and the valuation, and step them up a level to earn a little bit more money for every property we buy. Right now, the bird dogs, at the basic level, we're paying $500 per property. So anytime you drive by a property on your way to the grocery store and see, boy, that house looks vacant, and it's got overgrown grass, things like that, if you can find that property owner and put us in touch with them, it's a way to earn $500. Right now, our average scouts are finding 1 to 2 a week. And they tell me they spend about an hour in the morning driving, through their normal day, and they just pick a different route. There's a lot of other ways to find these home sellers. Obviously, the free websites, Craigslist and Zillow, and just get into a conversation with the seller and find out why they're selling.
Right.
And if they're, getting to the point where they need to sell rather than they're hoping to get the highest price, that's when we really need to talk to them.
Nice. So the actual, you go to rexoliver.teamworkprogram.com, and you can actually, and of course that's on our radio site right here. So folks, look at the pictures, see down below, you'll see 2 links down below. Tap the Rex Oliver teamworkprogram.com link and sign up and start up. I mean, there's no obligation. And of course, not only do you educate those who start this and make some quick cash, but you also educate the first home, where they're buying or they're selling their own home, correct?
Yeah, many people ask me, how do you come across the buyers side of things? And we do a lot of networking with companies that are bringing in people from out of the area through their, employment human resources office. And most recently, I've partnered with 13 different churches right now to help strengthen the local community and help teach those people, the basics of credit and budgeting. And many of those really want to buy a house. They just have never been taught how to budget and, fix their credit. So that's the 2 main reasons. Right now in the Capital Region, I have about 600 to 700 potential buyers over the next 6 to 9 months that, we've got to either, work on something on their credit or, they've got to be a certain time on the job before they can get a mortgage. But we're working through that right now with, like I say, 600, 700. So the more properties that are brought to us through the scouts, the more we can match up with the buyers that have been through our educational program.
Beautiful. Well, as we said, homeowners that want to sell their home and don't want to go through the hassles and the loss of the extra cash that would come at the home sale, they can contact you at 518-595-9836. And those who want to be property scouts and make extra money, leisure time. I mean, this is quite cool. rexoliver.teamworkprogram.com. And Rex, it's an honor having you on, and I hope we do another show again.
Thank you, Hank. And, if anyone does have any questions, the other way to get me is to email any questions to rexoliver@outlook.com. If somebody wants to speak about, any one of these opportunities, buying, selling, it's time we strengthen our communities and not let the banks run us around. And because I was 25 years in the banking business, and hostage, right, come together and make this whole economy work again.